Growing up, how we grew up, the Hill, Jersey City, born in the 80s during a heavy drug era, living in the midst of drug abuse, parent incarceration, violence, and even sexual trauma. We decided to use our God-given abilities to assist others in healing by telling their stories to the world. For us, as kids, it was music and visual arts that helped serve as a form of therapy. Now, we're on a mission as we feel a spiritual obligation to those battling trauma to help them use their stories as inspiration to others. From the Hill to healing.
Can you spread the love? Oh, baby, can you spread the love? Oh, can you spread the love? Oh, baby, ooh.
Yeah, what's going on, man? It's your boy Crisis, man. 1/3 of the Heat, Jersey City all day, man. And you're rocking right now with Concrete Culture, man. The media gods, man. Get it.
My brother, Chris Crisis Campbell.
Yeah.
Ibn Sharif Shakur from the Hill to Healing. We got you here for multiple reasons. The main one being levels of love.
Levels of love.
For those who don't know, what is levels of love?
Levels of love is a grown man looking back to his when his existence first began and started realizing that he needed to study all different aspects of love. He started studying what love was and how many different aspects of it was, what it was. So, and basically self-evaluation is a words that I can explain what levels of love is. Self-evaluation.
Self-evaluation.
Word.
Remember that word we used to say, introspective.
And
Introspective stuff.
Yo, I always remember when somebody teach me a word, and I don't be ashamed. I saw you yesterday, and I told you that Latif taught me what derivative was.
Yeah.
You gave me the knowledge on that word right there. Introspective, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Me coming from a therapeutics perspective, it was almost like, as I listened to the album, it was almost like you were taking that first step of acknowledging what happened to you before, so that you could move forward
Right.
throughout your life. I mean, if listen, I feel like I was listening to a movie. You know what I mean? It wasn't just auditory. It was like it gave you a clear visual of things that you were experiencing. Listening to it, my first question is this. Based on your experiences as a child, as a youth, how has that impacted your current relationships today as a parent and as an intimate partner?
I'll start with as a parent. Studying all the different aspects of love made me realize that there's all different types. So to have the love for a mother with a child is different from a man with a woman in a relationship. So like it just let me know that was just all different aspects. But what it's brought to my situation as a father, it helped me realize and understand how I came up and to document how I came up and realize and recognize what needed to change moving forward when I start raising kids up. So that's how the album has related to me as far as being a parent. So
partner.
As a partner, that's been rough over the years.
Yeah.
That's been rough over the years because when you're dealing with a man that has not already done all of the other work, he is going to be some trouble going forward because there's things that need to happen before you could get to that point where you can be you got to double back and you need to handle that, or anybody that you want to be a partner with is going to be some struggle there. You know what I mean? So I got to say that in the aspects of being a partner, this project right here just helped me hold myself accountable for what happened before the project. So it didn't help me be this great partner yet, but what it did was start the first step is holding yourself accountable for how things went before you did this.
First step is acknowledging. When I was younger, I was something on paper that they called the ward of the state. When custody of you gets tossed around throughout family members. That's the legal term.
Yeah.
And I only know
What's the term again?
the ward of the state.
The ward of the state.
Ward of the state. It sounds
Wa-
real criminalish almost.
Oh yeah,
right?
because
Like,
they're preparing you.
yeah,
They're preparing you for that
prepare you.
pipeline.
Exactly.
Yeah, I want to hear more about that though.
Yeah, and I learned about it when it was time for me to do financial aid and stuff like that. I'm like, ward of the state. I'm like, that's who has me? But I say that because throughout the album, I heard you use the word orphan. It's almost like the legal way of saying orphan, almost.
Right. Wow.
So being an
Yeah.
orphan and those complexities of your experience, like, I could see how there might be some hurdles in you loving freely.
Right.
Like, so what are some of the challenges you had to navigate of being able to? Because I hear some trust issues in there.
Yeah.
I hear some emotional blockage that might be preventing you from just like loving freely. You know what I mean? That's what I hear from the album. My interpretation.
Listen, man, that's why I like to sit down and talk to smart people because, like, I'm listening to you right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you waiting for answers from me,
Yeah.
but I'm actually listening to it. Like, whoa,
'Cause there's an undertone, right? There's an undertone. I hear so many different like angles of love. Don't get me wrong, but I also hear an undertone of struggle to love freely.
wow, yeah. So
You know?
I'm gonna start with the first part of the question.
As an orphan,
As an
what
orphan.
challenges did that present?
So when I mentioned talking about being an orphan, you know what I mean? Like people that know me and grew up with me would already understand, like they know who my mother is, they know who my father is, they know who my stepmother is, they know these people. So how do you consider yourself like an orphan? But an orphan is a child that doesn't have any parents. But if you like if you look at what the current state is, even though I'm an adult, I'm still an orphan.
I can understand. Yeah.
If your mother and father is deceased, like you are an orphan.
Yeah.
I might be a 40-year-old orphan, but I'm still an orphan. You understand what I'm saying? So like, if you wanted to know like where I started to use that word, because when people think of orphans, they think of Annie and little kids
In a
looking
group
for
home.
somebody. And the thing about it, I was Annie too.
Yeah.
So that's the great thing about it. But just because I'm 40 doesn't make me not an orphan. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because what is an orphan, man? Someone without parents.
Yep.
And and outfitted. You know
And
what I mean?
emotionally, your parents could be alive. You could still be an orphan.
Ooh, talk heavy on it.
And I
Damn, I
always
didn't think
say-
about that.
I tell people, like they say, your brain doesn't fully develop until you're like 24, 25.
That's what they said.
So if you're 40, you only really been an adult for what? 14, 15 years?
15 years.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's we're still early in the game.
Exactly.
Switching gears a little bit. You mentioned Jehovah Witness.
Oh, hold up. Okay, yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
I
you
gotta
remember?
go back to the song.
Yeah.
Basically,
Touch on that.
yeah. So we came up in the system. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. My daughter right here, she probably ain't even hear this story. She right
You
here.
getting
but,
exclusive.
yeah, but it's a fact though. Me, my brother, and my sister, like we started off in the system. They was a little bit older than me, but that was the beginning for
How
me.
many? First of all, how many of y'all?
From my biological mother and biological father, it's 3 of us. It's me, the baby, Keith after me, before me, and Kendra. She's older than us, but my father had 2 other sons, James Jr. and Derek, before that in the previous marriage. But with the marriage with my mother, it was 3 of us: Chris, Keith, Kendra.
You're
So
the
I'm the
youngest.
baby. I'm the baby out of everybody. You know what I mean? Everybody, the whole clan. So, well, bring me back where you was at with that.
As far as the Jehovah Witness.
Jehovah Witness.
How did that play a
So
role in your
my
life?
my extent with that whole situation was we was put in the system after our biological mother wasn't able to care for us anymore.
What age was that around?
I was about like 4 or 5.
It's early.
Right. So I was about 4 or 5 years old, and just you see how hard it is for males in the system today to get a hold of their kids. So imagine in the 80s.
Yeah.
So if it's hard now,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? In
Lack
order
of
for
information back then.
exactly, things was just so raw then that like they didn't know what to do. So in order for a father to get their kids, mom's got to be on like crack, bro. She got to be doing horrible.
Yeah.
Because a father would never be a candidate first
Yeah. You
for
look
taking children.
right
You
past
looking
it.
right past it. You trying to see if they got a grandmother somewhere over there before you look at Dad. Move out the way. Excuse me. I know you here jumping up and down, but move over. And let me see if somebody else can do it.
That was so typical, grandmas. How many of us have been raised by the grandmas and the great grandmas?
Listen, I wasn't, but and where I come from, it's so common.
Yeah,
it's so common. So that just show you like that system that we was in. So that basically put us into, and before they could give us to our father, they had to go through him with a fine tooth comb. Word. So guess what? In the meantime, these kids need to go stay in foster homes, and they didn't even put us together. We was in different ones.
Wow. Now, did you stay in foster homes throughout Jersey City or?
Oh, yo, we was in Brooklyn. I don't even know how we ended up there.
Wow. Whole other state.
Yeah, whole other state. Yo, imagine sitting at the dinner table with a family. First you home, and then the next night you at a table with a family, and they telling you, yo, you live here. You start school tomorrow. Your room upstairs. Yeah, that's what it is. Eat your food. What?
And that's supposed to be a very intimate, an intimate relationship. People who feed you, people who are telling you what to do, and it's just like that. That's just like a transactional. Like, yeah, eat your food.
Right? Like, what is this? What's your name?
Yeah.
How you gonna know the name of somebody handing you the food at night in your house? You know what I'm saying? Let alone them being your family. You don't even know these people. You know what I'm saying? Where my brother at?
Yeah.
I was with him every day of my life. Why he not here? He at somebody else's house.
Yeah.
Doing the same thing. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. He doing the same thing. So the whole Jehovah Witness, to answer your question, they was Jehovah Witnesses.
The people who you were living with.
Right. Yeah. They was Jehovah Witnesses. So I had a little stint with that. Like, what's this? Like, hold up. I know it's bad, you know what I mean? But I'm getting used to it. I'm in school. September, I'm in school. October go by. November come by. All right, okay. I'm getting a hang of this a little bit. I don't want to be here, but it's Christmas.
Yeah, and no gifts. That's what you said.
It's Christmas, so let's see if they've been taking care of me. They ain't abusing me or nothing. So it's Christmas time, man. Tree out. You know what I mean? Let me get a couple things. Yeah. Oh, nah, we don't do that. We don't do that. We don't do Christmas over here.
As a kid, going through those experiences, being put in a foster home, did you feel loved as a child? Or were you ever confused about being loved? Understanding the circumstances what your mom was going through. How did you internalize that?
Be honest, I didn't even recognize what my mother actually dealt with until I was way older.
Did you feel any type of way about her? Or
Nah, not at all. Not at all. At no point. I just didn't understand what was going on, and I was just waiting for it to get better. So that's why you hear joints like God is Love, and you see me play a young kid playing me that prayed. You know what I mean? I prayed as a kid.
Who taught you that?
Yo, be honest with you, I couldn't even answer. Because my father wasn't at that point, because he didn't even get his life together yet. You know what I mean? He eventually came into God, but I can't answer that for you. Yeah. It just came that naturally. Yeah. It just came that naturally. So when you see the little kid in the video playing me and he that young praying, I was doing that in a foster home. You know what I mean? Get me out of here, man. yo, it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right.
So how long did it take for you to be reunited with your family after that?
Okay, so after I was living there by myself, not even knowing where my brother or sister was at for at least about 6-7 months. Then we end up. They said that they was gonna move me to another place. Somebody else was gonna take me, but guess what? They want the brothers too. So they want my brother. So now we about to go to somebody else's house to live, but me and you gonna be together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's a big move. This is still a messed up situation.
Still a messed up.
Yeah.
They try to minimize the impact.
Imagine somebody saying, "Yo, y'all going to a new house. You going to a new house. You don't want to do that because I just got used to here." Yeah. But when you go to that new house, Keith gonna be there.
Yeah. Word.
My boy.
Yeah.
Yo, that's my boy.
Yeah. How much older is your brother?
A year and 11 months.
Where's he now?
In Delaware.
Yeah,
doing his numbers, man. I talked to him this morning. Like that's my guy. You know what I'm saying? So imagine they tell us we moving, going to a new house. You're gonna be living with a whole nother family. That's something hard to deal with, but it was easy. It was a cushion blow because Keith coming. He gonna stay here too. And as far as I've ever known, he always been like my protector.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when you look at us in pictures, like I am much larger in stature. You know what I'm saying?
You
But
older, bro.
that's big bro status, bro. That's big bro status. Even smaller in stature. Big bro status, bro. He has sacrificed his body for me. You feel what I'm saying? Like, God forbid ever happen to happen, he would jump in front of one for me. That's like, you know that. So that's what answer the other thing we were talking about before about did you feel love? What? Somebody that you know for a fact that lay down his life for you. How could you not feel loved?
Yeah.
No one, even if it's one person.
Yeah.
You know for a fact
That
that
comfort.
What?
Yeah.
Yo, no matter what he dealt with, you know what I'm saying? I'll take it all. But this right here, yo, my brother and my sister is a big contribution to how spoiled I am, like in life as even as an adult. Yeah, that's a fact, bro.
So like throughout that journey, like first of all, that's early.
Yeah, that's early, bro. We talking early. We talking about 6 now. At this point, they done moved us to another house, but they gonna put us together. That's like 6.
Where did you find hip hop and what age?
I say.
Or where did it find you?
Yeah. It started with music because music in general, like my whole family is musicians. My whole family, I'm talking about everybody. Like my father was a professional drummer for Mighty Royal Silvertones, super gospel group in Jersey City. My mom's played the bass guitar because all her brothers played. Uncle Andrew, you understand what I'm saying? All my uncles, because they father taught them.
It's in your DNA.
I'm talking about, bruh, I'm the only one in my family that don't play an instrument, and I play the guitar.
Well, your voice is an instrument, right?
Facts. That's
you know
a fact.
I mean? Like, there's no doubt about that.
So it was music before it was hip hop. But when we want to talk about hip hop, when we was in the foster homes, me and Keith was together, we still didn't know where our sister was. My sister went to go stay in the Bronx with my aunt, which is my mother's aunt. Okay? So when my father was able to actually get us at 7, I was 7 years old, brought us to Jersey City, back to Jersey City, because we was born here, but he brought us out of Brooklyn, back to Jersey City to live with him in Duncan Projects. We was living with him, but my sister didn't want to live with him. You know what I mean? Remember, they got the issues because, like, my sister's about 7 years older than me, so she know what my mom's went through with my pops.
Yeah, she was there. She saw
more
of the
I ain't
process.
see that.
Yeah.
I was a little baby walking around. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't able to grow resentment for nobody. Like I don't know what's going on because if you a kid and you seeing stuff messed up, that's the way things supposed to be.
Yeah.
Because when you ever saw something better than this? Never.
Yeah, you don't miss what you don't. You know. What you
Well, this is life.
Yeah.
Caught at 5 years old, that's life for a kid. That's what they supposed to be. Yeah, I don't know nothing else other than that.
Going through all that, what type of student was Chris Campbell?
A student?
What kind of student were you?
Man, I mean, I was a straight A student until the 3rd grade. I was a straight A student to the 3rd grade.
I heard a little
A's.
giggle. That's why I'm smirking. But
Yeah.
Offset giggle.
Right at where
Offset giggle. But go ahead. You could
they want to know what happened after that. After the 3rd grade, man, like I started to come into myself a little bit. You know, like you know what I mean. Like we not in foster home situation. I live with my pops. You know what I'm saying? Like,
where?
It was we came straight from Brooklyn. We in Duncan Projects. I was actually born there though. So like my mom's like I was born in Duncan. Then the whole foster home thing kick. I ended up in Brooklyn. Came back in Duncan with my pops. All right. So he started to put us in Catholic school because he said I'm just getting them and I need to do the best. So we gonna put them in Catholic school.
Yeah. Overcompensate. Like
I
gotta fix this.
I'm so behind. And I can't fail. Like I got 2 older sons. I didn't do right by them all the way. Like my 2 older brothers called my father James from the day that they was born to the day that he died.
What did that represent for you? Like when somebody calls their parent, I've seen that before. Like,
yeah.
Like,
yeah,
what's up?
Unless it's some, because I've been in situations where I've seen people call their parents by their name just on some cool, because their mother got a cool nickname that everybody, that's different.
What's up, Puddin'?
Yeah. That's what everybody calls. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about like, you know damn well I shouldn't be calling you dad. Like, and you ain't even mad at me that I'm saying that.
You fake that. Yeah.
Yo, they used to call him James. I used to be like, yo, how y'all do this? I would never call my father James, man. Real talk. So he wanted to do better by it, so he tried to overcompensate. That's why I like that word that you said. So I'm gonna put them in Catholic school or whatever like that. And then second grade, third grade, we in a Catholic school. But eventually, like, this is costly. We live in a project, bro. Like, you can't do this. So we
39.
You can't. Yo, listen, man.
School district, right?
Facts. So we obviously had to stop that and put us into public school. But the whole point was him just trying to overcompensate for what the time that he's missed and for what he's done before at previous children that he can't fix now. But guess what? Look at these two little guys right here. I still got a chance. Still got a chance. And that's what that he just turned it on.
His intentions were in the right.
Right. But and you know what really helped with that? And I have to credit Miss Rose Campbell, my stepmom. But without her, we probably would have stayed there. I'm keeping it real. He would have just like, I'm gonna come see y'all.
So he had some help.
Some help. Yeah. I mean, she made him.
Yeah, I heard you speak about her.
She made him. That's what the track Motherly Love is not about my biological mother. It's about Rose Campbell. That's the lady that I grew up in the house with since a kid. And still to this day, like, who I consult, like, as my mom.
So as you got older, what was the relationship like with your biological mom?
Like, we was cool. It's just that I just didn't understand what was going on. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she would definitely call me a lot and, like, bash Rose a lot. But guess what? I never been in a relationship. We don't know that, and that's what women do. Oh, you with my kid. I don't like you. Like, I don't know nothing about that. I'm a kid.
Did it turn you against Rose at all?
Yo, it couldn't, because she would do it. But when I hang up with you, is this lady in the house showing me the most unconditional love you could ever see ever in life. So you hear this, and then after you hang up, you witness this. You couldn't. Yeah. You couldn't switch. So as I got older, I started to realize what was going on. As I became into adult with kids of my own and dealt with some of the similar situations that my father did, I kind of understood, that's what was going on. Yeah. This documentary helped me realize what's going on, Levels of Love. I had to go talk to people about this. You know?
The screenplay, one of the most epic scenes, Fences.
Yeah.
That screenplay, where there's a scene with there's two different versions, I believe. I think James Earl Jones
is the original.
Is the original,
it was a screenplay, yeah.
And then did Denzel do it?
The movie. He did the movie. I don't know if he did the play, but he did the movie. But it's the same concept, same script, everything.
Tough love, right? Like, personally, I get where he was coming from. You know what I mean? I don't think you can be all the way like that. Yeah. But I get what he was saying as far as, like, I ain't gotta like you.
Right.
I'm here for a job. I get it.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to tie that together to what you experienced and how you are now. Did you get tough love like that? Like, what made you resonate with that scene? Everyone knows that scene. If you don't, you better look it up.
Yeah. I'm gonna end up throwing that in there right there. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? But with Fences, the scene that Denzel had with his son, like, if you watch the movie, Denzel made a lot of mistakes. He made a lot of mistakes in life, and he had older children he felt like he failed with, similar to what I just told you just now, or didn't do as good as he could have. But he had this one young boy, and he just said, by all means, I'm going to do something right by you.
Sound like your situation.
Yeah, I'm going to do something right by you, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? So guess what? We don't got time for no candy-coated nothing. Realize that Denzel used to play sports, too. Then he watched his son. He realized that I can't do this. I got to go to work. I can't spend time worrying about a baseball dream or any dream at all. We don't got time for dreams.
Survival.
Right, it's survival. That's how he grew up. Now you got this son. He's a super athlete. He aiming for his goals. His father like, yo, we don't got time for that. You better go down to that grocery store and go get your job back, brother. We don't got time for that.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's almost like a mistake I feel like some of us make sometimes on a different level. Like when we grew up in survival mode, we want to like put some pressure on them, our kids. Right. You know what I mean? Because there's an element of truth to that.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like you don't want them. You don't want them to be disappointed. When you go for dreams, you could be disappointed. Right. Okay. So they don't want us to see no disappointment at all. So what they're gonna do is guard us from that. Yeah. Guard us from that. Stop dreaming, boy. Yeah. Wake up out your dreams. So the thing about that is, fathers learn from what they have been taught. Yeah. So that's how I looked at my pops when I put that. I
He
put
gave
the
you
movie
some
together.
of that tough love?
Like, listen, I'm gonna tell you how he gave it to me. It's like, why he make us work so hard? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a line in the song about like, while most kids clean their room, we clean the building. Like, your chore as a kid probably was like, clean your room.
Yeah.
That wasn't a chore. Our chores was the building that we lived in, man.
Yeah, because you might have to do this one.
Real talk. I was 12.
Yeah.
I was 12. Same age as my daughter that's over there, man. Yeah. I was her age and I was the super of a building.
What's the good that came from that and what's the bad?
All right, the bad that came out of it, if you would have asked me back then, slavery. He hate me.
Yeah,
he just hate me. Yeah. I already figured out that we living in this building because you work for housing. So that means we don't pay rent. We got to maintain the building.
Now this is Duncan?
No, we move out of Duncan to 299 Bergen. It's the building still there, Orient and Bergen. It's 299.
Okay, I know that building.
So we moved from Duncan to that, but housing owned that building. So it's still housing property. We gonna stay here for free. You gotta maintenance the building, but you made us do the work.
Yeah.
So like, you just hate me, man.
Yeah, word.
You just hate me. And then when I want to get fly, you ain't trying to help me get flea or nothing. Cause that's life. Getting flea is life.
It's life.
Getting flea is life.
You
You ain't getting me flea, you don't love me, man.
Word, facts.
That's what we
the
preaching out
measurement.
here.
Yeah.
In case everybody don't realize I'm being sarcastic, man.
Yeah.
Cause that ain't life.
But what is the good that came
Now
from
the
it?
good that came from it is, like now that he's deceased, and I've been a landlord since I was 23 years old. And that's a fact. Guess what? I know how to maintain that property and I still own it right now at 40.
So value. There's some value in hard work.
And the thing about it is, I ain't grasped a quarter of what he was trying to say.
Yeah.
The stuff that I just couldn't get away from is how I survived today. So imagine the crumbs that I picked up, I'm making a living off of.
Yeah.
What if I'd have paid attention to all of it?
Word. So, taking that, right? Let's go down the path of you as a parent and tough love. How do you balance, because I see you as a father, right? Like, the kids don't, they got everything they need.
Right. Yeah.
How do you
Everything
balance?
they asked for too.
How do you, and I know your son.
Yeah.
He was pretty fly up in Snyder.
Shout out CJ. That's my guy, Chris Jr.
No question about it.
Yeah,
How do you balance making sure they have those
Uh-huh.
as well as with the experiences? I'm kind of throwing you a oop because we got your daughter helping us on Saturday.
Yeah, it's all good.
But
she gonna hear about her brother too. Yeah.
How do you balance that?
Right. So like with CJ, like it was just like embedded from the very, very beginning because like with CJ, like I was actually like living in the house with his mom, you know what I'm saying? So I had more of a grasp of what was going on, how he was gonna be raised, and shout out to her for giving me like the full range to do so. That is very big, ladies. If you have a man and that you have a son and that man just want to make sure that he on top, give him free range to do so. And my son mother did that. So I was able to embed to him. I used to drop him to school every day from second grade. We had this little saying every day before he got out the car. Like, who's the best? Me. Who gonna help you be the best? Me. Who's responsible if you're not? I am.
Where you get that from? I'm stealing that.
I made that up because what I was doing, and I'm telling you, when he see this, he gonna remember being
smile.
outside of 30 school and 40 school. Every day I got out the car, he made me say this. Second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade. It was the same thing every day. The whole point of that whole thing was self-accountability, bro. I don't care what happened today when you go in this building. Yeah. Whatever happened with you, you are responsible for that. You are responsible for that.
And I'm a witness, because I didn't know that, but I'm a witness as working with him at Snyder.
As a teenager now. That's a teenager. So now you witnessing that.
What did I say yesterday to you?
Yo.
He was in it.
He was in it.
But he wasn't in it.
He knew if the nonsense was going on, he affiliated because he cool and he fly. He know everybody. The streets know him. Like the squares know him. Every type of kid know him. So he gonna be in the mix. He know what's going on because you have to have an understanding of your surroundings.
Yes.
But I wasn't there. You could tell me. You ever seen my son like in the mix causing some havoc?
Absolutely not.
All right then. Because he knew that every day that he walked in there, I'm responsible for me. Okay? Probably in 4 years, a teacher called me 3 different times. What's the punishment when you come home that your teacher called that you ain't do this and that and that? I don't question them. My question is, how you gonna fix this?
Solution oriented.
That's it. I'm solution orientated. I'm not about to go to, you didn't do this, that. I don't care. You know what you did wrong. How are we fixing it? That's the question. And he gave me a solution, and then I leave him alone. And now he's just doing excellent today, man. Like, that is like one of my, like, yo, like, when I look at him, he make me realize, like, yo, I did well.
Colorism within our community, right? We're both, I'm brown. A little bit more brown than me.
Browner.
But the reality is, I remember Nas said it, the darker you are, the willier your problems. Like, there's a negative connotation that comes with being on the browner side of the color in our community. So there's like a colorism thing to where it's like, all right, you're black, we all black, but the darker you are, the more you are expected to be criminal, negative, unintelligent. If we being honest,
Right. Being straight honest.
Like, I'm from the hood, so it's a little bit different for me. But on the outside, if someone doesn't know you, it's like you have to be dressed extra clean, extra crispy for someone to give you the benefit of the doubt that you're not a criminal or you're not a bum or you're not. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Did you have any experiences being on the darker side of the color spectrum growing up, and even as an adult?
Absolutely. So I've witnessed that like throughout my whole childhood, all the way up to adulthood. That's crazy you mentioned that. You're like the second person that ever mentioned that in an interview with me. The first experience with that is being a kid. You know what I mean? I grew up in the 80s where
I whoop your black ass, you know,
yeah,
even from our parents.
From our parents, from our peers and everything. It wasn't, in the 80s, it wasn't cool to be dark skinned.
Remember that line I had in Weaving Gangs?
Yeah,
I'll be sure. What? Something about I'll be sure.
I remember. Yeah, because that was what was in at the time. So imagine me going to school. You know what I mean? Like the girls not like they ain't on me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They ain't on me. I'm African booty scratching.
Yeah, that was the classic joke.
I'm like, what is an African booty scratching?
I still don't know.
So like they like if you was light skinned with wavy hair, then you was it. So that was my first experience with that, and it was of people that was the same color as me. Yeah. It was people that was almost just as dark as me. Like you only one shade lighter, and I'm black as hell. Like you know what I mean. So that was the first situation dealing with that. Is how did you
internalize it?
It's just like you know what I mean. Like at one point, I used to be like, damn, I am too dark, man. It made me feel like that as a kid. 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, like. I'm like on the darker side, so like the girl's not really gonna be into me. But then what happened is I got older, and the 90s started coming around. You know what I mean? You got dudes like Wesley Snipes coming through, and White Men Can't Jump, New Jack City. You know what I'm saying? Like shout out to all them dudes the Morris Chestnuts. You know what I'm saying? The Malik Yobas. You know what I mean? So it's like, so now we looking at like, wait, hold up. Like, yo, we kind of crispy. Yo, you looking alright. You know what I'm saying? So things started changing. It started changing. So that's how I dealt with it as a kid growing into a teen. But now you want to know about dealing with that as an adult. As an adult.
13th Amendment type.
Yeah. Oh, listen, man. Like, as an adult, being that I'm not small, you know what I'm saying? Like, it don't even matter small, because if you dark, you already considered like a threat immediately. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, automatically he's not intelligent. You know how many times that like police officer has just looked at me, they didn't speak to me yet. They didn't realize like, yo, he could actually speak, he can articulate himself. No, they saw me and they immediately treated me like somebody that was not educated on the law, and they messed themselves up really, really badly. I was arrested 14 times, okay? And I've never been convicted of a crime ever. I am felony free. and I'm a school teacher, so I gotta be.
Yep, you got it.
Okay, but it's been many times I go to school the next day, the police come in there and be like, get out of here, you got arrested last night. You know, so I get arrested regularly, okay? Because people are looking at a man that has size on him, super dark. Yeah, I can do whatever I want with you because you ain't gonna be able to fight this. You don't know that he's smart. He playing with some change because you need some money to fight these people here.
He's a professional.
You know what I'm saying? So and he got it down. You know what I mean? He got a resource system that's out of this world. Like you know what I mean? Like my attorneys are my father's best friends. You know what I mean? And he's deceased. And to this day, we knocking cases out the park.
Mm-hmm.
They don't when they see me dress how I'm dressed, they don't see what I just described to you.
Yeah,
so they go straight off the hand. So that's how I deal with it as an adult. They look directly at me. I'm a black guy on the darker side, size, but you ain't even hear me talk yet. So you know where you going? Straight off the handle. Yeah. And then 6 months later, you wishing that you never met me.
Never did.
You wishing that you never met me, man. Shout out to Sergeant Joseph Simbler from Trenton. He like a big wig that handle like federal cases, man. Shout out to him, man. I would love for the opportunity to sit down with you because I told you a couple years ago you will see me again. I will be at the best I've ever been in my life, and we got some stuff to handle, and that's not a threat. That is me saying that I would like to have a conversation with you. And that's it. So shout out to Joseph Simbler from Trenton. You know, he handled a lot of the big federal investigations. I've been waiting to say that for a long time. Shout out to you. I just want to show you how I'm shining. That's all. All right, next question, man.
And that's so layered, man. Just it's so many different, like we get categorized in so many different ways as black men. Like that's for you. And it's like on any given day I could look like a drill rapper.
Yeah, right.
They might think I'm King Vaughn or something.
That's
you know what I'm saying? So if I look too young, it's like the ageism. It's like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like
I can see that. I can see somebody that's just not in the know thinking that.
Yeah.
But they'll quickly know the difference like in a minute.
As soon as you open your mouth, pause. You know what I mean?
Yeah, facts.
But see, that's what, and it's gonna transition me back to a point that I think that's very important that we're gonna touch back on. Just like being a black person in general, and black women have a different battle. Mm-hmm. But just speaking for black men, it's just like it's so complicated. We should not have to think that hard about our existence.
Right.
Like just being.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But when you raised your raising your son, you said that his mother gave you the freedom to like have that. What's the word? Like autonomy and power over raising him.
All the words, just like the lane,
yeah,
the lane, man, just the lane, without confusion, without any resistance, at all, man. Shout out to y'all, man.
I think that's great because you cannot. It's very hard to simulate what it's like to be a black man.
Right.
So like you raising your son. Let's give an example. We leave out here today. You leave out with your daughter. Your daughter, God forbid, got into a little argument with somebody outside. All right. Now, your father instincts is always ain't nobody gonna happen to nobody in my family, let alone my kids.
Not that girl too. That little girl.
Yeah, it ain't happening.
That raises a little bit.
Raising
more.
even more.
Yeah.
But even understanding that, right? All right. I'm in Woodbridge, New Jersey right now.
Right.
Police right there. Now I'm probably gonna whoop his ass anyway if he disrespected my daughter. But he's my enemy. The cop is my enemy. The narrative is against me, and I have to. I'm like, regardless of how I react, all that I'm gonna have to process whenever I react to something because I'm gonna have to defend myself during and after, even if I'm right.
Yeah.
Now you have to be a wise, intelligent, emotionally intelligent person
and
to
quick
to process all of that. Think about the consequences. I can see the consequences within a millimeter of a second. That's because of where we come from.
Facts.
So I think it was important that you pointed out that you had the autonomy to raise your son because if you don't give him that information, he'll walk out here and he won't have a clue.
Exactly.
Because that's not the reality of what we have to do.
Exactly, man. You cannot make decisions off your emotions.
Yeah.
And that's why, mother and father, two parents are essential
Yep.
essential, okay? You know what I mean? Like, we're out here battling each other, trying to see who's more important or who's more relevant or who's needed the most. That is ridiculous, okay? One without the other is disaster.
Right.
Not saying that you can't make it out of, but the chances become slimmer, okay?
Becomes
you
more
need
difficult.
You need two parents. You need mother. You need father. You need that mother to show that compassion.
Feminine,
yes,
masculine.
Exactly. But too much of anything makes you an addict.
100%. So I can't be out here testosterone down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
With no type of feeling or compassion for people.
Yeah.
That's what women bring. Women instill that. But what if you give nothing but emotion to a kid? No strength at all.
Which might be the problem with some of, even in our culture, when it comes to aggressive behavior and violence.
Yeah.
You know, some of the young men were raised in a way where they were not taught to use logic. Not that women can't use logic, but they didn't have the understanding of just multiple perspectives. You know what I'm saying?
See, we gotta see. Like, I noticed how you had to throw that in there to make sure.
They might rap,
First of all, we need to cut that out. Let's cut that out. Ain't nothing wrong with gender roles.
Yeah.
Okay? Because if you are not in your role is missing. Okay? So if you do not pick what we bring to the table and say that I'm going to stay here and you stay here, then you got somebody saying, no, I can do everything. I want to be over here too. But guess what? While I'm doing it and you doing it, it's something over there not being done. Okay? So I don't agree with not having gender roles. That's just something that I say all the time.
What we have to understand is that it's not about being superior or inferior. It's about being different.
It's about balance.
Yeah, balance.
Pick up where I lack.
Yeah.
Pick up where I lack. But if I'm good in this spot and handling this, you don't need to jump in this just to say that I can do it too.
Yeah.
But guess what? The thing that was your role or originated for your role is being unoccupied at this point.
Yeah.
Okay?
I'm gonna go from 100 miles per hour.
Go ahead.
It's either I'm going 150 or I'm going 50. You interpret it how you want.
Right.
Who's Veronica? Is she literal or metaphorical? Who is Veronica? You know I had to throw that in there.
Yeah. Veronica is definitely metaphorical.
Okay.
But it's definitely it's reality. It's reality. You know what I mean? Like, you know how you got certain things that you have that you know.
I know.
That person know.
Mm-hmm.
The person you talk to, they know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And but you know, it's hard to even.
Why you chose that name?
It's just something that obviously that I had with that person. You know what I'm saying? Like before it was ever a song.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So like I called you that for like before I ever thought of to make a song. You know what I'm saying? So it's something that resonates with somebody personally that they just understand what it is. But the story and the concept of what went on, people just identify with it all the way around the board.
Yo, what you do so well is this. I wish I could do this.
What's that?
The way you incorporate classic lyrics and the way you present it is like I'm happy to recite that. You know what I'm talking about, right? Because you referenced Jadakiss. You referenced DMX.
Quotables. Yeah, I've been doing that. Like if people go back and listen to all of my work over the past like couple decades, I've been doing that since day one.
But it's not just that you do it; it's how you do it.
Yeah, it's always relative.
Yeah,
it's always relative. Yeah, because like it's about how I write verses. I write verses backwards. Okay?
I can tell.
Yeah, you know that?
I can tell.
I tell people that, like, you know what I mean? Like I work with kids with learning disabilities, okay? So if you do something for 18 years, you might start learning some stuff in yourself, like, I have one.
I can tell. I didn't know that was the word to describe how you wrote it, but it's like, oh shit, you gotta, the way you put that on paper, it's like it had to be backwards.
But, straight backwards, like, you know what I mean? And, I'm about to flip this one, watch this. Watch how I make it relative to something you just said. So like how I write verses is how I deal with life as well. So the first thing that you hear on the song from me was the last thing I put on the paper. But how is that when you're telling a story in chronological order? Because you started off at the ending. Okay? But that also is relative to the last concept that you just said about how is as a man, me being raised as a man and having logic, I was able to see the ending of something before
you must.
So guess what? When I walk outside and I got that enemy, I got a situation with my daughter, and I'm about to end your life because that's most likely what will happen. Then I got police there. You know what I'm saying? And all these different aspects. I came into this at the end.
Yeah.
I already know what's the worst case scenario
Wisdom.
already, and I move all the way up the page.
Yep.
So guess what? I'm making a decision. My first move, I already know all the possibilities.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's that goes in line with how I write songs. I start from the ending. So when I start a song, how did it end? So obviously that's how you know that the stories is true, because if you're making up a story that's not real, you got to start from the beginning. But if you could start from the ending and write up the page, that means it's a true story. You just started off what happened at the end of how it ended up. So yeah, that's how that song was written. That's Love Triangle.
That's
Love
where I'm
Triangle,
going before I get to my final point.
Yeah, go ahead.
Man, Love Triangle, man. That was like.
Wait till you see the video, man.
Yeah, man. What I say that right now, that's my favorite joint. Right now, that's my favorite joint.
Yeah, Love Triangle. You and Gotti said that.
Yeah, right now. It could change. That could change.
Yeah.
But
Love Triangle is real.
It's real.
Yeah, it's
real. That was my main question, but we ain't gonna go too far.
No, you can go where you want to go. Go where you want to go.
I'll ask you this: what age bracket were you in when that happened?
Damn, I might as well just say all real names if you're gonna say
right?
that.
What I really want to know, what time period? Like, so I can visually, the 2000s, the 90s.
Nah. This is current. This is of the recent.
Okay.
This is of the recent. It's a real story of
2010s in the 2010s.
Oh, that's most definitely, man. It's
late
2010s.
In his social media era.
Oh man, like a few years ago, bro. I don't care, man.
Yeah,
it is what it is, man. Yeah. But it's like, you know what I mean? Like, I never been in like a real relationship like with a female. You know what I mean? Like a real one where everything was, 100% and like I'm pursuing this and this is what I want to do. But that situation was the first time. You know what I'm saying? So, like that people always say, like, all right, if you're going to play on people like that, you eventually, karma got to come back to you. So some people might look at it as karma. You're going to eventually get somebody that you really like.
Yeah.
You really, really like. And guess what? You're going to need to experience some of the pain that you have caused people. You know what I'm saying? So
you can learn.
Yeah. So Love Triangle, like, definitely dealt with, okay, you know what? Yo, I like you for real. Oh, but guess what? Now, you got some baggage that that you ain't really speak about in its entirety. And sometimes women withheld information not because they just want to be devious. They just don't want to make certain perceptions that they feel like not gonna be the future of what they're doing. So they just like, I'm gonna hold this, I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna hold this, that, and that. But me, coming from somebody that you just spoke about their youth, you can't really do that with them because they watching everything you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Because you said that like it's like hard for somebody to trust that came up like that, like how you mentioned in the beginning. Yeah, so that person, like people like me, they not gonna say everything they know. They just gonna sit back and collect data.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because you're at the finish line already.
I told people, like, I mean, when I was getting on set doing stuff like that, I said, yo, I just want to let y'all know we about to start, but everything went completely well. I lived this already. I'm coming back to just live it with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I already know how this ends
wisdom
already. You know what I mean? Because I already foresaw it. So that's how I am.
It's like a gift and a curse when you know so much.
Oh my God, when they say knowing is half the battle, it's halfway to the solution. But when knowing too much can be like detrimental to your peace.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Last thing, man.
Good.
Because we talking to the world, so twofold question. Who is Chris Campbell?
Mm-hmm.
Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you in the sense of what is it that people don't know about you that they should know? Because this is what helps people connect with you.
Mm-hmm.
And what are some like misperceptions about you?
Damn, man.
Because I feel like I'm a complex individual, and then I have to like different people get different parts, and
Right.
you know what I mean. But in a nutshell, who are you?
You know what I mean? Like, I always use all the A's every time I had somebody ask me who's Christ is. I'd be like, you know what I mean? Active, artist, activist, active father. You know what I'm saying? Like, I use those because those are the regulars. But
Leader.
Yes, you real talk. I would like to think so. You know what I mean? I can't say that. Only somebody that's willing to follow me can say, yeah. I can't say that. I'm just doing the best.
Influencer.
I hope so. You know what I mean? I can't say this stuff. Somebody that is influenced by me would have to tell you if I am an influencer. I can't tell you if I'm an influencer or not. But like, as far as like who, like, do I feel like it's something that people don't understand about me? Like, I feel like I pour myself into stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't think I'm not leaving anything out. Anybody that wanted to know something about me is somewhere that you could dig it up and find it out. So, like, I'm not holding back anything. So, like, you can't make a misconception of me unless you just felt like you ain't want to do no research. Yeah. So that means that you're just uneducated.
100%.
Yeah. So like,
so
there's no misconceptions of me. Yeah, it's no misconceptions of me. Like, you know what I mean? Because if you know you didn't do the research, then you don't really care. You know what I mean? Like, you don't really care. So only way that it could be a misconception about me if somebody that sought out information, but they didn't receive certain pieces. No, if you don't know it, you did not do your due diligence.
That's a great answer, because I've never heard that answer before, but it's the truth.
Yeah, I'm an open book. I'm an open book. I'll tell you anything, man. Like anything and anybody. So it should be no misconception. If you have a misconception about me, just do some research. Mm-hmm. But if you don't care, then you don't have. Then don't worry about the if they don't care about that, they don't care about the misconception either. Yeah. So people watching,
it's surface level bullshit. Mm-hmm. If you have a misconception about me, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You taking whatever narrative you want to believe.
Right.
We call that cognitive dissonance. We flip shit to believe what we want to believe is true. Right. Like if I already think you a thief,
no matter what I say, you're gonna still think that. So
you're gonna move the narrative to fit what you want to believe about me.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Well said. Well said.
Just to be clear, the levels of love.
Yeah.
First of all, before I say this, do you have more?
Absolutely.
Okay, more.
So I want to tell people about this particular one right here. There's only 8 copies that exist left.
Can I open
next batch? Absolutely. The next batch will look like this, but the content on it will be totally different. So this is a collector's item, what you got here, bro.
And this is I love this cassette tape concept.
Classic.
That also...
My first song ever was on a cassette tape, and I sold it at Ferris High School for $10. And it had one song on it.
And it has the USB port.
Absolutely. Yeah. Old school technology with the new school feel. You know what I'm saying?
And with this collector's item, it comes with what?
Absolutely. You know, fresh dad hat. You got it, you know what I mean? Levels of Love dad hat. You know what I'm saying? Levels of Love tee. All this in the box, man. All this in the box. Like, I poured my heart and soul, blood, sweat, tears, every bodily fluid in my body is inside of this. So that's why I said, so it shouldn't be no misconceptions about me when you could test this box for my DNA and you'll see it. You know what I mean? Because my fingerprints is on the t-shirts because I made that myself. My fingerprints on the hat. My stories is on the music, on those files. Like, so it shouldn't be no misconceptions about me if you actually really wanted to know.
I'm gonna answer the last thing for you because you made reference to being immersed in what you do, so people would have to speak for you. Me being there's different branches and offsprings of when you influence somebody, right? Like Eminem is a white guy from Detroit, right?
Facts.
But he still had an influence on Kendrick Lamar.
Facts.
You know that he's a piece of him still, and I'm sure Kendrick is influenced by other people as well.
Absolutely.
So, me being from Jersey City like you are, being someone who was like deep into hip hop and influenced by Heat and that Jersey sound, I'm gonna speak from my perspective, part of what your legacy is gonna be. Now, your kids is gonna have they have their own version of your legacy, but from somebody that's a fan and just I have a connection to you, but I had a distant connection first.
Right.
So I think that from a fan of your art, your legacy will be consistency. It will be poetry. It will be fearlessness. It will be, I think about having a network. Because it's Jersey. Because we're forgotten about a lot of times in hip hop. We don't get the respect. It just is what it is.
It is.
We don't have our own radio station, stuff like that. But as a fan, I think that creativity is a part of your legacy. And I just think that you just kept your foot on people's necks. And you never let up. And that's 20 years plus.
Word.
And
25 joints.
25. So before I even I probably caught on 5 years late.
Wow.
So that's what I think Crisis' legacy is
Thank
going to
you.
be as an artist. But there's a whole bunch of other, you know what I'm saying, a bunch of other
Yo,
parts of that.
yo, that's what I wanted. What you just said is what I set out to do. Like from the very, very beginning. I didn't start getting paid from this until right now. You know what I mean? I've been doing this 25 plus years. I wrote my first rap when I was 13 years old, taking a road trip to Texas. And I said, yo, I'm about to just write me a rap because I'm in the car for 32 hours, man, all these stops. But
Favorite rapper?
favorite rapper of all time. That's true. It's just so many different reasons, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like Biggie, it would be.
I
like
heard Biggie influence.
Yeah. Like, cause that's how I learned how to write raps. I listened to Ready to Die over and over again. I listened to Criss Cross. All right, I'm listening to this Naughty by Nature because he helped out that whole Criss Cross situation.
Mm-hmm.
What I did was I just studied how they was putting the lines together, and then we took a trip to Texas for 32 hours, and I said, I'm going to make the words line up like this and write my own words. So I recited everybody else's, then I learned mine. But I remember you mentioned about how I got into hip hop and I didn't get into it the way that I wanted to. My sister Kendra is the reason why I rap right now. And if you look at it, women are in the forefront of hip hop in a way that nobody really understands. Okay? They used to ask you who invented hip hop, they're gonna say Kool Herc.
Yeah.
Kool Herc. But the only reason why Kool Herc did that is because his sister would have parties and make him DJ for them. So it's like women are already just in front of it automatically. Yeah, you're seeing men there, but that shows you what about gender roles. Because that's what it really is. Like, that's how I grew up in the house with Rose and James. Like, my father was the head of household, but my mom's was the neck. What a head doing on some shoulders without a neck? Not a damn thing.
Yeah, word.
Not a damn thing. So that go back to my sister. If in my house they wasn't playing no hip hop. My pops wasn't playing no hip hop. He thought that was noise. But my sister didn't live with us. She lived in the Bronx where hip hop started. And she would put her baggy jeans on and her gazelles on and get on a train to come visit us in Jersey City with her big radio. With this new mixtape that got all this Slick Rick and Big Daddy Kane on it. And then I tell her, you can't go home with that. You got to leave that tape with me because you don't nobody want to hear this around here, but I need this. And every time she came to our house to visit us with a new tape, she went home without it. You feel me?
Got him.
And that is how I got into this whole thing. My sister Kendra
That was
is
the
the
seed.
reason why I rap to this day. Women are in the forefront of hip hop in so many ways. Yeah, we the face.
Yeah.
We the face of it, man. They the neck. If Kool Herc couldn't have did that without his sister having those parties.
I didn't know that.
Come on, I met him. You know what I mean? I had this conversation with him. And he wouldn't, if his sister wasn't having those parties and making him DJ those, he wouldn't have been able to be the inventor. If my sister didn't bring hip hop into the household, then I probably would have just played an instrument and played gospel music like my brothers.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? But she showed me what hip hop was because she didn't come live with us in Jersey. She went to stay in the Bronx and she grew up there. She just get on the train and come bring me hip hop. And that's how I got into this, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, and this is what paid me to this day. Real talk. Like,
Love, therapy, hip hop, black man. We touched on a lot, man.
facts.
And yeah, we're gonna have to do a part 2 to this.
Oh yeah.
'Cause there's more.
It's so much, man. Like, but this was well rounded, man.
Yeah.
Well rounded, and you hit some key points of stuff that I've never discussed in an interview before. That's what I was looking to do when I said I wanted to do this. Is that I want you to say something nobody else ain't say, and you did
I hope
that.
I did, man.
You did that in the first 15 minutes. My man, bro. Real talk. A lot of respect for what you do, and a lot of people don't know. Like the people you see me working with, I seek them out.
Yeah.
I seek them out.
Yo, you found me
yeah.
like in the.
Yeah. Come on, man. Like,
Well,
look at all the
that was-
shows that I'm on.
Yeah.
They not calling me. I call them and say, this is what we need to do.
And
This
that's
is
what
we
makes
need
you
to do."
successful.
Real talk. And people, they respect me for it. And later on down the line, they bringing stuff to me that enhance what I got going on. But I foresee things. I sort you out. When I saw Weezy and Gaines, your hair was about this long,
Yeah,
bro.
facts.
And I said, I don't know him. But I'm gonna reach out to him and say, yo, that's dope as hell, bro. And it takes so much gall to say the stuff that you saying. You know what I'm saying? Like we think that street dudes is tough, like gangsters who be killing people. We think they tough. Let me tell you what real tough is, to go against that.
Cause I caught a lot of flack for that.
Come on, that it take a real man to say, not just to do that stuff. It take a real man to say, I'm gonna go against it publicly. That's a real man, and I saw that in you. You had your dreads about this tall right here,
I don't
bro.
even know if my shit was locked. I was like,
Yo, I said, I'm like, yo, that take balls right there, boy. And I reached out to you.
That's a fact.
Real. So I said, yo, I need to be a part of the energy. You know why? Because I knew I was going here. Yeah. I knew where I was about to go. I got to start associating myself with more positive folks, and that's why I reached out to you mad years ago. You feel me? Didn't even know that you was listening to me way years before that. I didn't even know that. I didn't care. I wasn't looking for you to know who I was. I was looking for you to say, I need some of that energy you got. Yeah. And you gave it to me.
Hey, it lines up. That was confirmation that I was doing what I was supposed to do.
In line. You was in line, man.
Yeah,
you was in line, man. Everything I do is ordained, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I just told my daughter, I was like, yo, I went to go get you that Starbucks, but she gave me 2 of them. But when you got the car, you dropped yours.
It.
And
was waiting for you.
That was waiting for you, man. Because everything you do is ordained. When you operating under the capacity that you should and your heart is right, everything go well for you. I win all the time, bro.
Even when it looks like it's not.
Bro, I win all the time. If I tell you, listen to the album, the stuff that I've been through in the last couple of years, I won, severely won. Okay? If I go through a situation, bro, I lost my job. I'm a teacher, but I've been fired 3 times.
Yeah. You know how
I've been fired 3 times. I've been arrested at my job. Police come in there, full force, gun, get me out of there. But I still work there right now. And if you're in the school system, there's no way in the world I could be working on a record.
Yeah.
Because I beat everything, I smacked everything out the park. And then they paid me for a whole year and a half in one check.
I learned that on 13th Amendment joint.
Yes, man.
Arrested 14 times.
No convictions.